What's up, people? This is your boy Levelhead, and this is another Live and Level Gamers podcast. And we are a little short cast today. We don't have all our personalities, but we still gonna carry on. This is Live and Level Gamers podcast number 44. This will be a short one. We're trying to keep this almost under an hour, probably 30, 40 minutes. Two topics we want to talk about, but I have two people here that are very much worthy and capable of carrying a good conversation. Started with D2K. Go ahead and introduce yourself, man.
No introduction is necessary.
And last but not least, my boy K-Bum20.
Yo, for sure. What's up, y'all, man? Let's get it cracking.
All right, so like I said, John Shaw is not able to make it today, and Jedi.
My man, all the ones and twos.
Yeah, Jedi Knight is a little under the weather, so that's a little sad one, but he ain't got nothing for that one. So it's just gonna be us three for the next few minutes. So anyway, K-Bomb, you know how we start. What you been gaming on, man?
Well, I've been gaming on. I've been playing the Division. I finally got to level 30, which is the max level, and so at this point, I'm trying to do the end game, which is pretty much trying to loot, trying to get some trying to get the higher end guns and gear and stuff like that. So that's what I've been doing for the past couple of days, trying to get up. You know what I'm saying? It takes a little minute. It's a little harder when you get to the end game, because they actually have a DLC that's free to everybody. That's actually coming out in, I think, a couple of weeks.
Okay.
So I've just been spending the time trying to get myself ready. And I've been playing a little Madden, not that much. It's so much cheesing on Madden right now, man, with the nano blitzing and everything like that it makes it very hard to enjoy it. But outside of that, though, I've been good.
Okay. So still on that Division, still on that Madden. Boy, I tell you the truth, boy. Them your games right now. But anyway, let's jump to D2K. I was going to say something, and I was like, nah, just wait. Go ahead, D2K. What you been gaming on?
Well, I actually picked up an Xbox One last Sunday from a guy. He had a couple of games that he had already bought that he installed to the system. I think he had Forza 5, he had Forza Horizon 2, he had Rise, Son of Rome, and I think that's it. And I wasn't really that interested in Rise. I haven't really touched that. I messed around with Forza for a little bit because I like racing games, and didn't really get too deep into it because I didn't really have time. But I re-downloaded all the stuff that I had bought before, so got my Halo Wars finally. Oh, I love that game. That's my favorite game on the Xbox 360. I was so happy when they finally made that backwards compatible. Playing my Halo Master Chief Collection, Halo 5 Guardians. Been messing around with Madden a little bit, but I discovered why I stopped playing it, so I stopped playing it again. And then I actually picked up Dragon Ball Xenoverse, which I'm a huge Dragon Ball fan, and I didn't really know too much about this game other than what I've seen. I didn't have anybody break it down to me what this game was about, and I guess it's basically an RPG where you have a character that you create, and you can create them out of different models from the different type of people, personalities that are on Dragon Ball Z. And I designed my character. She's a Majin, like like Majin Buu.
Yeah.
But she's like she looks like a Kid Buu, but she's like a female Kid Buu. And basically you're going around this time palace, whatever, because these two people are going throughout history and disrupting time. And the Trunks from the future, is heading up a team of time patrollers, and your job is to go in and make things right throughout time. But in the process of doing that, it works like any other RPG. You can level up, you can get trained with certain people throughout the Dragon Ball Z universe. Like if you see old Kai, you can train with him. If you see Pan from GT, you can train with her. She can be your master. You can level up and get more powerful. You can go online and do missions with other people, or you can do offline missions. Um, it's a pretty tight game. I enjoy it.
Yeah, I actually played some of that. I haven't played the actual storyline where you doing the RPG, elements of it, but I actually played that, one-on-one fighting aspect of it,
Right.
and it was pretty dope. I mean, they actually seemed like it almost got bought, put it like that. They seem like they pretty much captured the true essence of Dragon Balls to where fighting in that type of 3D free flowing environment, it worked for some reason where the other ones that I've played back in the past, always seemed broken to me. This one didn't. And
I'm gonna say that it still doesn't have the fight mechanics that Budokai 3 did.
okay.
It's still, but for what it is, it's probably the best of the 3D free roaming Dragon Ball fighting games. Because
Oh,
Budokai was
really?
still more or less on rails back and forth. But
Okay. Now with that wasn't 2D though, was it? Budokai was 3D,
it
wasn't
was
it?
3D, but it was still
Okay.
on rails like any other like a Tekken or something like
Okay, yeah. So it's only so far you can go before
that. Right.
you was yeah,
You can sidestep and shift and move around in a
right,
circle, but you can't. You're always facing each other.
right. Well
Side.
this one, man, yeah, this one totally like you can lose track of who you're fighting and everything. So
Yeah.
it was pretty dope when I was playing it. I was playing actually that was one of the demos when the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One were being demoed at Best Buy when they first was coming out. That was one of the demos they had on it. I was at the kiosk and I was playing it. So it was
Hmm.
pretty cool. Anything else you've been gaming on before we move on to me?
Um, I I think that's it. The Halo game. Oh, of course. I mean, I love my Gears of War. Playing Gears of War 3. All my backwards compatible stuff from Xbox 360. I've been playing the bejabbers out of that stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, as far as me, I've been gaming on life. No,
That's
man, I haven't
pretty
gotten
cool game.
yeah, that reality. That's the best looking game ever. So
Yeah, got better
but no,
graphics than that.
I haven't got the chance to really pick up the controller this week. I jumped on the Wii U for a second and did some internet surfing on the Wii on the gamepad just for convenience. But truthfully, I haven't played this week. Division was the last game I played, and I talked about it pretty much the last podcast. So if you want to hear my thoughts on it, you can listen to the last podcast, which can use some more views. I don't know what happened to that one, but it didn't get its typical views. So yeah, go watch that one. But yeah, man, life hit me this week, so it was a lot going on in my community, so I didn't get a chance to actually get on some gaming. It was basically work, managing my family, my kids, and dealing with the losses that took place. And K-Bum know about one because
Yeah, for sure.
it brought him back this way. So yeah, man. So that's what I was on this week. But anyway, so that's all I have to say on that. So let's move on, man. We had this. We're gonna do a short one today, like I said earlier, since all the guys are not here, so I don't want to deal with all the topics. Uh, I wanted to hit on this stuff with NX, but we can hit on that Thursday. I don't want to hit on it right now. But D2K, man, you posted a post on FullEffectGaming.com. Shameless plug. Uh, on April the 1st, 2016, which was Friday, and it was called "Is the Eighth Gen Dead Already?" And that post really caught my attention when I saw it because it's actually a legit question that should be asked, looking at the fact that the PlayStation 4 might have a more enhanced twin by the name of PlayStation 4.5 or 4K. You got the NX coming out, looming on the horizon. Microsoft is pretty much waving the proverbial white flags with the Xbox One, conceding that this gen is pretty much a wash. It's already Sony won, so they pretty much merging all they stuff with the Windows 10 and all that stuff is pretty much going Windows 10. Kind of break down some of the subject matter under the title. Is the eighth generation dead already? Let us know what you was trying to relay in that post, and we can dialogue with you on it.
Well, I mean, you pretty much set it up. I mean, all three companies are looking at developing next gen hardware. It seems like both Nintendo and Sony want to get their next gen hardware out this year at some point. Um, with the PS4K, um, if the PS4K, if one of the reasons why they're making this console is so that PSVR can be more viable as a competitor against HTC Vive and Oculus, then it would make sense for PS4K to be available when PSVR launches, I would think. So it seems like that would at least be launching sometime this year, if not very early next year. That's just my opinion
Right.
on PS4K. Um, with the Xbox, I think it was just yesterday I saw something from Phil Spencer saying that he's not interested in uh, Xbox 1.5. And what he's meaning about that comment is he said that he's not looking at some minimal power increase for the Xbox One. He's looking at to say, look, we're going to make a jump. If we're going to do something new, it's going to be a jump. So it looks like whatever that Microsoft is working on is not going to just be a little bit better than what the Xbox One is. It's going to be significantly better. But what I said in my actual post is regarding Microsoft is that it seems like Microsoft is thinking about going back to their roots. And at its very core, Microsoft is a software company. That's where they got their bread to be buttered. That's how they became Microsoft is through software, through Windows.
Right.
And it will make more sense to them to focus on operating systems than it would be to focus on consoles because they've never turned a profit, as far as I know, with any other Xbox consoles. If you think about it, any device that has Windows 10 running on it technically is an Xbox One because you can play your Xbox One games on any device that has Windows 10. If it can run it, if it's powerful enough, if it's a PC that's powerful enough, if it's a laptop that's powerful enough, you can play the Xbox One games on your PC or laptop if it has Xbox 10. And there's no install base bigger than that.
Mm.
So that would make more sense for Microsoft to focus on their software, which would be their first party titles and the operating system for it to run on, rather than trying to compete with boxes necessarily. Now they still may have a box that will be upgradable like a PC, just like having a Microsoft brand PC or Microsoft brand laptop, like they have with the Windows Surface tablets and stuff like that. But as far as focusing on this is our machine and it's going to carry us for the whole generation, that's done. That's over with. That's over. I
Mm.
don't think that any other three companies are focusing on that anymore. Microsoft, Sony, or Nintendo. Going back to Sony, they've conceded that they've won this generation, and they have, and they want to strike while the iron is hot. So, in addition to competing with VR, they want to say, well, we want to just go ahead and make a more powerful PlayStation console because we still have developers complaining about not having enough uh, horsepower to do what they want to do, which I say is balderdash. I think it has a lot more to do with the developers being lazy and publishers not giving them the time to work on the games to optimize them properly to where they can utilize the power of the consoles that are already out there. But they want to make things easier, so let's just make a more powerful PlayStation platform. And you know, this is very risky
Mm.
because even though Sony has been doing better in the past year or so, maybe a couple of years, they still aren't anywhere close to being out of the hole. And you're taking a huge gamble by putting two major pieces of hardware out there within months of each other, if not at the same time.
Right.
Right, right.
Let me-
Go ahead. You go
Go ahead.
ahead.
No, finish your
Oh,
point.
okay. And when Nintendo, I mean, Nintendo, I mean, they just pretty much got the CIA protecting all their information. They don't want nobody to know what's going on.
Yeah, man, it was something you was telling me about one of our YouTubers that pretty much ain't hearing from no more. To kind of proves your point on that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just that whatever they have, they're either scared to death that somebody could take it and do it better, or it's just Nintendo being Nintendo. But what little we do know is that this system is not nothing to play with. It's not. It's not going to be just a little, you know, rinky-dink upgrade that's just marginally better than the PlayStation 4 or on par. I don't see that happening. I think that for the past two generations, Nintendo has basically been watching a main event heavyweight championship wrestling match between Sony and Microsoft in the ring while they've been out in the audience selling popcorn, peanuts, hot dogs, and soda. Now it seems like Nintendo wants to put that tray down and get in the ring and fight. And if that's the case, then this this holiday season is going to be a barn burner. And like I said in the post, quote To, get your popcorn ready.
Now, before K Bond jump in here, man, it was a post that you in your post you quoted Spencer from the Polygram as a
Polygon.
Polygon.com. You gave them credit where he says when you look at the council space, this is Spencer talking. I believe we will see more hardware innovation in this council space than we've seen ever before or ever seen. You'll actually see us come out with new hardware capabilities during the generation, allowing the same games to run backward and forward, uh, capable because we have a universal window application running on top of the universal Windows platform that allows us to focus more and more on hardware innovations without invalidating the games that run on that platform. What did he mean by that? Because what did you take from that? Like, what is this universal Windows? Is he talking about a whole new platform basically operating around Windows?
No, I think that he's talking about Windows 10. I think
Okay.
he's saying that Windows 10 is constructed in such a way, or if it's not, at least will be, that any device that's running Windows 10 will be able to, like I said earlier, play first party Xbox
Okay,
games.
I got you.
So
So
it's
it's
not
the
they're
ecosystem.
not focusing on an Xbox console anymore. They're focusing on hardware that runs Windows 10. That's what I
Right.
think.
So they focusing on the whole ecosystem of Microsoft. Everything that they make that has Windows 10 on it is going to be universally running the same stuff.
Right, right.
Okay, I got you. Go ahead, K Bond.
uh, well, I don't know if Agen, if I would call it dead. Calling it dead suggests that it's pretty much a done deal, and we're moving to the next gen. I don't know if I would classify as that, but I would classify Agen as we pretty much know who the winner is. Um, Definitely that, because even when I've heard about Sony and their next console, it's not as if this next console or this 4.5, whatever they're trying to call it, is going to fully replace the PS4, which would suggest that we will still be in the age gen. It's going to be a a middle a middle grade upgrade to the actual system. But when talking about VR and looking about the VR, I've even heard that the the new PlayStation isn't fully for VR, because what happens is that it doesn't replace or it doesn't fully help VR, because the fact that the PS 4.5, what we use that for right now, even though this displays in 4K, what they're trying to say, it doesn't really help VR, because VR isn't displaying in 4K. It won't even be able to utilize all the functionalities of the the PlayStation with this visuals. And so what I've been hearing is, yeah, it makes it more powerful by giving a better PlayStation 4.5, but it doesn't really solve the problem they're going to have with not being able to compete with the other big name VR guys.
So
And
more
so
Oculus and
Vine and Oculus, yeah, it's not fully going to compete with them, even though they have this upgraded operating system, upgraded graphics card, and upgraded specs, and be able to do 4K. So my question is, I kind of wonder why they would even do that if if it's not fully going to replace the PlayStation. It's going to be an upgrade, and it's going to be they said it's going to be a visual upgrade that you're going to see. You're going to be able to tell the games that's developed for the PS4.5 are going to look better than the ones that's when you play it on your PS4. But that doesn't initially say that this actual 8th generation is dead. So I don't know. I'm kind of with D2K when he says that I don't really know why Sony is taking a gamble double time at this point by releasing the new PlayStation console and also releasing the VR pretty much around the same time. Because I've heard that the new PlayStation is going to drop around the holiday season as well. But especially with Sony just now, as a couple of years, getting to a point of being sustainable. So, I mean, I really don't know. I really don't understand that decision from them, because they can easily lose a lot of money with this. Because we know that hardware loses a lot of money. Software is when you get it back. Hardware is when you use it. And they're dropping 2 new pieces of hardware. To be honest, I don't think it's a good decision for Sony, but I'm not paid to make those decisions myself. So hopefully whoever's in charge of that is making sure that whatever they're coming with, especially the system being the price that it is, being $400 for the VR system, and then another $400 most likely for the new PlayStation system. I just hope that it's going to be something that they can get their money back for. So that's my stance on that.
man,
Thank you, sir.
I'm with you. I don't really, and that's one of the topics we had here. I don't really understand the rationale with Sony and the PlayStation 4.5. It just seems like they're going to alienate the PlayStation 4 owners. Like, because me, I mean, I was talking to John Shaw about this Friday, last time we talked. And I told him flat out, I was like, man, if this is true, which everything is pointing to being true, I don't see this as fabrication no more. I think this is literally happening because you got too many people. And I ain't saying it's, it seems to be factual, but if it is, I won't be purchasing one. I'm just gonna be honest. I just bought the PlayStation 4.
Right.
And the explaining and the hurdles I had to jump to get a cosign, because I don't try to do anything with my wife without getting her to cosign on it.
Word.
I don't feel like going through that, and I know the NX coming out, and that's what I want. So I thought I was good. I thought I had all the platforms I was gonna need to have. I was gonna be enjoying my platforms and all the games that's coming. Now I'm a little upset with Microsoft and the seeming direction they're going. But at the same time, I can understand it, but I really don't understand the purpose, the reasoning, behind PlayStation 4.5. Even if it's gonna give you the graphical boost that they saying are going to upscale the video to 4K streaming or whatever, I just don't understand why not just wait, put all those resources into a new system, and wait about 3 years and release a new system.
Right. Right.
And I think they're jumping. To me, I think the VR situation, I think they like 2-3 years ahead of time with the VR. I think they're rushing this technology for whatever purpose. I do not know. I don't understand with the hype fest about it. I don't think the developers are really on board with it as strongly as suggested. I feel like right now it's just a lot of smoke and mirrors, and they're just trying to get you to buy in so that you kind of force the hand of developers to support it. Because if a lot of people buy Morpheus or buy VR, PlayStation VR or Oculus or whatever else out there,
Right.
then the developers have to take it serious.
Serious.
Whereas now, so you got to build the hype up to where, and this is what makes me mad. It's going to go into what a question you asked me over the weekend, K-Bump, that we get into later. This is what makes me mad about the current state and mindset of gamers. And John Shaw said it best: we can be crackheads at times because none of us, not many of us, have experienced anything VR yet. None of us. You know, out of all the gamers out there, maybe 6-7% of them have experienced VR and know what it's all entailed. But based off the testimonies of other people who are paid, like D2K was saying before, a lot of these people are paid to promote this stuff and hype this stuff and make it be larger than life and make you feel like you're missing out on something if you don't buy in early.
Right.
And then by you buying it early and having to go through that time frame of nothing there to play, you justify the reason why the developers come. If it's enough sold, then I can pitch this at developer. Look, it's 10 million or it's 1 million or 2 million already sold. So if there's money to be made over here. So it's like you being guinea pig to make money off of you for your loyalty, and it's just, you know, it's crazy to me. People don't think what they think what they. I don't know what they think with. They ain't thinking with their brain like that. But so
right.
I'm a little lost. I'm at a loss of words with the PlayStation 4 as a gamer and a PlayStation 4. I mean the PlayStation 4 4.5 or 4K. See, it's just stupid altogether. But anyway, being a PlayStation 4 owner, I'm gonna tell you right now, that'll jade me. That'll be, to me, that's the, we talk about Nintendo and the Wii U, and people talking about Sega with them ending the Wii U, which they had to. They had no choice. No one bought it. But PlayStation 4 is selling like crazy. There is no reason for them to do what they're doing, and they're doing it. So I feel more jaded at them having no reason to do it than to feel jaded at Nintendo for having to do it because none of us know what we did, but a lot of us didn't buy into it. So they can't keep supporting the system that's only moved 10, 11 million or 12 million just I guess on the first of, I don't know, the last week they got to 12 million. They've been out almost 4 years now. They got to move on. They have no choice.
That's a good point, because I was watching, Doc Trey, one of his videos, and he was someone tried to criticize him for something about this topic, and he brought up the good point, that very point, that Nintendo, you know, they have a reason. They have to do this. They don't really have a choice but to release the console now. They can't hold on to 2017. There's nothing out there. They have nothing. But Sony is crushing everybody out there. There's no reason for them to even think of releasing a new console for the next 2 to 3 years. So this decision seems a lot more based off of greed than necessity. And I mean, this console literally averages 300,000 a week.
That's
week.
crazy,
That is absolutely insane. This thing is selling at a higher, a faster pace than the PlayStation 2 did. And I'll go out on record and say
That's
this.
crazy.
The PlayStation 4 is the most successful system that Sony has ever made.
Wow. That's a big statement, bro.
Well, I'll explain why. People will say, well, how can you say that when the PlayStation 2 sold 154 million and the PlayStation 1 sold about 104 million and the PlayStation 3 sold about 86 million? All three of those consoles sold at significant financial loss for several years before they turned a profit.
Right.
That's step one. The second part is that all three of those consoles had a significant fail rate. in the first generation, first couple of years of the consoles being manufactured.
True.
Just think about how many times you took back a PlayStation 1 or a PlayStation 2 or a PlayStation 3 that didn't work or broke.
Right.
So
Mm.
a lot of those sales numbers, a lot of those tallies are inflated because there's a lot of resales based off of people going back to buy another PlayStation console.
Right, and that I'm glad you. But go ahead. I'll pick you
With
off
the
of.
PlayStation 4, you're not having any of that because the PlayStation 4 is actually uh, a very soundly built console. I have yet to hear of any major mechanical problems with the PlayStation 4. I mean, other than something that's just way out of the blue. I mean, you're gonna have one or two clunkers out there here and there, one two defects here and there, but for the most part, the PlayStation 4 has been a very sound piece of technology. So all 38 million that have sold, I would say a good 90 to 95% of that are all first-time buys and not repeat buys.
Right, right. It is for most probably 90% of those are first time buys. And you was hitting on what I was just going to say. If you look at the sales of the Xbox One, and it's the crazy thing about it, the Xbox One is selling better than the Xbox 360 in the same time frame.
Yep.
The PlayStation 4 is selling better than the Wii in the same time frame. Like the original Wii wasn't even selling. So you could say it's the most successful because one, they followed a Nintendo style formula by making a console that wasn't being sold at a loss out the gate, and it was kind of a cheaper approach to building a console. But what I do appreciate about Sony, that Nintendo seemingly sometimes didn't understand to do this, they still made it powerful enough to meet the needs of the current generation. It might not do everything that they touted it to do, but it's doing the standards that is expected of it.
Well, it's setting the
And
standards.
setting the standard, and in many cases, like you said, the developers are the coats behind the developers, the people who pay the developers' bills, are not allowing them, the directors, I guess you would say, are not allowing them to do what we was used to in the past, where they can literally push the system to the brink of its capabilities, to where they can work out a game to bring you the best that they can bring. They're not allowing it to happen like that anymore. So we getting these games not because the system isn't capable of doing what it said it can do. The developers are not spending enough time, I guess, optimizing it for the system to do what it can do. But so you got PlayStation 4 at 36 to 40 million in 2.5 years, dude. So you have sold 20 million in 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
That is retarded. It's just them 3DS wasn't doing them type of numbers, man. And this system is $300, $350, $350, $300, depending on what SKU you get. So I just don't understand the rationale with Sony. They in such a good position.
And thinking about the fact that as time goes on, technology becomes cheaper to mass produce, so they're making more of a profit on the PlayStation 4 sales now than they were at launch. So why are you messing with that money? I just don't understand. Leave it alone. I would say just wait. I'll say at least to 2017. Put a little bit more power in it and just call it the PlayStation 5
Yeah.
and make it an upgradable system to where you can have similar to what Nintendo is alleged to be doing with supplemental computing devices to boost the power, you know, incrementally as you want to. Make it more powerful in the PlayStation 4 to where it's noticeable and allow people to upgrade it from there. But wait another year. Don't come out with it this year.
Well,
At
let me
least
throw.
wait 2017.
Well, let me throw this at one of you guys, and y'all get y'all thoughts. I think it was Dr. Trey, because I saw that video you was talking about, and I didn't know I was even regurgitating some of what he said. I just caught that I was, but he also said this. That since you brought that up, that maybe the rationale behind Sony is the fact that they have sold so many, and they are used to double dipping sales, whereas with the PlayStation 3, the PlayStation, man, look how long the PlayStation 2 was on the market, man. PlayStation 3 is still on the market being games being made for it. They're still in development and all that. So the PlayStation 2 reached that number because Sony supported it for that long. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Whereas Nintendo typically, after a year or two after the system, after they have made the successor, they pretty much leave the system of old to his own demise, man. And if third party ain't making games for it, Nintendo ain't making nothing for it, so it dies. Whereas Sony, third party and Sony was still releasing games on the older platforms. But he said that maybe Sony's thinking is, since we haven't gotten any double dipping with the PlayStation 4, we might be about to see a decline in sales because we have maybe reached our saturation point. But I would at least exhaust and see if that's the case before I start talking about a new system. But it is a legit question, I would say. Do y'all think that there could be Sony's concern that, with the PlayStation 3, we saw a lot of double dipping with, slimmers, the slim system, the slimmer system, all these redesigns and all that causing folks to double dip. Whereas with the PlayStation 4, like you said, it's built so soundly. What's the port is already thin. It's not that big. It's smaller than the slim PlayStation 3 Slim. So do we need to revise it or rebuild it to make it any more economical or whatever? I don't think so. So maybe this they way to provoke folks to spend more money. I don't know. And so it is got to go back to what you said, D2K. Greed.
Well, I could pass this off to K. Bomley and haven't heard from him in a while.
Yeah, go ahead, K.
Man, if that is the reason, I think that's a dumb reason. I'm sorry, I said that too aggressive. I said that really aggressive. The thing is, it's a dumb reason. The thing is, Sony's been selling like wildfire. Even if you come up with something, the thing is, you can come out with something that doesn't alienate, like you've been saying, your user base. The problem with this machine, it does exactly what they don't want to do, and that makes the early adopters upset and ticked off for going ahead and buying your system and being the pioneer that push your system to the place that it is now. So you're saying to us, well, thank you guys, but screw you anyway, because we're gonna come out with a system that's better than the one that we already gave you. I think it's bullcrap, and I really think they're if that's their mindset behind it, I think it's a little crap, because they're putting too many eggs in the basket just to try to get more sales for something that's already selling. You know what I'm saying? Now, if it was like, if they saw a decline in sales, if they saw something different off and say, you know what, we need to be a little bit proactive with this, and come out with something that makes them, want to go get our system a little bit more. I can get with that if that was the case, but that's not the case. The problem is, the thing is, they're selling, they're making money, but they're still coming out with this system that could put them back to where they were. Sony's been playing it. I don't call it safe, but they've been playing it safer than what they did back in the PS3 days, when they told the world that next gen doesn't start until we release our system, which was one of the dumbest statements I've ever heard them make.
Well, wasn't as dumb as what Kazurai said, that we can release this system, and what he says, like, people
they'll buy it at any price we release it at. Something
like that. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, see, that old PlayStation mindset has been gone for a while now, and I'm happy it's been gone. When
they get cocky, K-Ball,
I know,
Sony.
I know, and the thing is, it's coming back though. The fact that I'm sorry, let me step on the soapbox real quick. The fact that you're going to release two pieces of hardware that have no credibility in the world of gaming at the same time is idiotic. Not if it works. We're going to be coming here in about January, February, saying how these guys are geniuses, and they knew how we gamers wanted to play games before we did. If that's the case, whoop-de-doo for them. But this is too unproven technology. 4K, which can anyone name 3 people that have a 4K TV? Can anyone? Name 3 people they know that have a 4K TV. You cannot. So what is the use of releasing a 4K system, a system that's going to produce in 4K when the user base are not going to see the benefits of 4K? What is the point there? And the fact that it's not going to produce 4K, it's going to upscale to 4K. So you're not even going to get a pure 4K image. You're going to get an upscale image to 4K.
Right.
And so, I mean, I'm calm down. I've got excited. I'm calm back down. I'm calm back down. I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't understand it. They're doing too well to go backwards.
That's why I said, man. That's exactly why I'm saying. If it's true, I don't care how good it is. I'm gonna wait for 3 years to get it. I'm not doing it, man. I mean, I'm getting older. I'm just gonna be real. Let me jump on my soapbox. Cause Sony has ticked me off with this one. Dude, I had my whole 8th gen set up, man. Listen to me. I had it set up. Got the Wii U when it came out. Got the Xbox when they dropped the price. And I was like, when Sony, I kept saying, when they come out with Uncharted 4, I'm going to have the PlayStation 4. That was my plan. And all this was happening in 2 years, right? I have everything. I'm thinking I'm going to have about 4 years of just utopian gameplay. And here I am. I'm looking at a new Nintendo system. So I'm looking at my gamepad. It's just looking like it got a sad face on it. I know. But yeah, we gotta take you up there to your sister room because I don't know how much longer you're gonna be a part of the entertainment system because your new son is coming in. I got this PlayStation 4 down here. I haven't had this thing not even 3 months. And you already talking about a new PlayStation 4.5. I got this Xbox One down here. When all the games that I've been wanting to play, one of them going to show up next week or this week on Tuesday, and then I'm waiting to the end of the year. But I don't know the future of none of these platforms. That's the crazy. I don't the whole and it go back to what D2K said. Is 8th gen over? I don't know, but it feels like it. It feels like it. It feels like it's over, man. It feels like this thing came in and left out just as fast as the wind, like a leaf in the wind, man. It blew in and blew right out of your face just as fast as it blew into focus. It's like we got duped this gen. And I feel like the biggest simp. Like, 'cause I spent money thinking it ain't no way they gonna drop these systems and already be talking about the future 2 years in. They did, as successful as Sony is, that's worse than what the Wii U did. Cause, like I said, the Wii U had this one caveat: they have no choice. They can't continue to push down this path and drag this system along the way when even Nintendo fans are not buying it. They have no choice but to move on. It's dead. They shot it in the backyard. The Wii U did its last moan, and it cried, and they buried it. We just got dead. They did the old yellow thing. Where the dude's like, "Do you want me to go kill all that?" The boy's like, "I do it." And he went out. They went out the back, talked to it, rubbed a little bit, good boy, and shot it. It was dead. It came out crying. We all been crying ever since. So, just being real. The community all divided. It done caused so much the dissension between the ranks. People it's just different now because I blame it on the Wii U and Nintendo's inaction with it. I don't blame the Wii U, but I blame Nintendo's inaction. But I have no problem with buying the new. If this was Sony, I would be in the same boat. I would have no problem if they tried to make the PlayStation 4 catch on and it just didn't. They had to move on. No problem with that. But you killing it. You killing everything. And when I say everything, I mean everything. And you got this system looming on the horizon for what? I'm like, man, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. I buy a PC. I don't drop my money. Before, or it'd be 3-4 years down the road before I even consider buying a PlayStation 4.5. I just won't have Sony. I just play the lesser or the lacking experience on a PlayStation 4. I'm not buying a PlayStation 4.5, and I hope I'm not the only one in that mindset. We don't need to buy. To me, this is stupid. To me, it really pretty much slaps you in the face with like, wow, y'all don't care about us. Y'all don't care about the money we spent. And I ain't supporting it, man. I'm sorry. I ain't supporting it.
But let me hop on 1 minute. I mean, there's a good thing that can come from this.
Nope. I'm not letting you.
Hold on. I'm not trying to spin. Hey, I'm not.
Okay. All right.
I'm not spinning. I just fussed that Sony for 10 minutes, man. Let me say what I gotta say. The good thing that can come from the good thing that can come from this is a cheaper PlayStation 3. I mean PS4.
It ain't gonna be good.
No. The thing is, there's going to be people that's not going to care about just having some more graphics. Some people are not truly going to care about that. And if you actually have a cheaper PlayStation 4, for people, if it drops further down to like 250, just because the high end one's now coming up a little bit higher, that does give people who don't want to spend that money another system. I mean, to me, that's the only silver lining I can find in this entire thing, is that piece right there.
Well, here's a couple of things on that. Apparently, the price of the system is being debated based off of whether or not they want to put a more powerful processor in there too. They're definitely going to put a more powerful GPU in there.
Right.
And if they leave it at that, then the system will be $399, which was the original price for the PlayStation 4. But if they put a higher GPU in there, CPU in there as well, then that would push the price to $499, which is a little steep. But people, if it's a significant bump over the regular PlayStation 4, people will buy it.
But
The problem
you
is,
need the games though, man.
but
You need
the thing is that I wonder if we will have a same problem with the PlayStation 4K or 4.5 as you saw with the Wii U in terms of marketing misunderstanding. Think about parents going to the store to buy a PlayStation
Oh,
4
you
for
make
their child that they never had a PlayStation 4 before, but their child says, "I want PS4K." So they go to the store, they buy a PlayStation 4. Christmas, they open up like, it's a 4K. Oh, it's a regular PlayStation 4. I want the PS4K. Well, sorry, that's the one you're gonna get.
well, I want you to get a job, son. That's what I want you to get a job. You can get that extra letter on your PS4.
You know,
actually you make a legit point because I didn't even think about that because it's hard to even say it. PlayStation 4.5, and if you change the name, check this out. Let's say you don't go with the
You
PlayStation
can't
4.
do that.
Now let's entertain me. You can't say the 4.5 because it's confusing. It don't roll off the tongue good. You can't say 4K because people might not get it. They might not understand that it's another more powerful system. And you change the name to the PlayStation whatever. Then people are like, well, I guess that's the new system. I don't want the PlayStation 4. So either way it go, it just don't make sense. It don't make sense. Why not just rock out with the PlayStation 4 till it starts to show signs of decline? Then, when that sign show up or the numbers start to dwindle, then you come out with the like 2017, 2018. Hey, this is a new iteration to the PlayStation 4, but there's no need right now at all. It's even with VR, it's not proven yet. We don't even know if it's going to be successful yet. So there's no need, but it ain't going to be successful if the PlayStation 4 can't realize what they're talking about.
what I'm hearing about the PS4, PlayStation VR, is that it is basically bargain basement VR. I mean,
Right.
it's not even comparable to Vive or Oculus, and that's one of the reasons why they wanted this upgrade in power, so that even though it's not as powerful, maybe the conjunction of it being somewhere in the ballpark and it being a better price point than going out and buying a gaming rig PC plus the VR headset for Oculus or Vive, would be a better alternative for the PlayStation VR.
Well, this just proves to me that Sony was
Man,
just reacting to Oculus, and they really didn't have no intention of throwing any VR device out there. But when Oculus seemingly caught on and caught fire, they had to get a piece of that pie. And it's just Sony being Sony. Just stay in your lane, man. Do what you're doing to be successful at it. And don't worry about what the other folks doing right now. If you're winning, keep winning. That's how I feel about it.
man.
Go ahead, man.
I, nah, I don't got nothing to say. I'm spent. I am spent. I'm rooting for Sony, but man, my thing is this, man, and I'm gonna be done with this conversation. My thing is this. So we talk about game. We're talking about an increase in graphics. All right. Um, the thing is, this increase in graphics is not going to be. It's not even going to be the difference of the PS4 to the PS3. And even then, I mean, you saw the increase in graphics when we went. I mean, it wasn't much. It wasn't the PS2 to PS3, but you did see an increase. We talked about the lighting in the games. We talked about the fabrics
Well,
in
I would
some of
say
the
this,
games.
Bob. We starting to see it now. We starting to see it now. It's a nice difference from 7th gen to 8th gen now, but before initially it wasn't.
Right, but what are we going to get when we're looking at the PS4 to the PS4.5? I mean, is that difference going to be better? The only thing that we may really see, because I don't think it's going to be when it comes to cloth. I don't think it's going to be really coming when it comes in light. I think what they're going to actually be able to do is deliver their promise on frame rate.
Right.
With a more powerful system, I think they're going to actually deliver their promise on frame rate. Right,
Which
but I
is a
don't.
promise that's been 2 generations in waiting.
But check it out
Hey,
though.
I agree. I
But
agree,
even
bro.
with but but if your gimmick, because that's what it is your gimmick is 4K. It's already been proven that even if they put it out there, it wouldn't be able to run 4K that smooth.
Natively, not natively.
No.
Yeah, even at 30 frames. So, and I ain't technical in this, but man, it's like at the end of the day, really, is it worth the investment to get 4K and some study frames per second, or to take advantage of the hardware as it is and realize the 1080p 60 frames, and honestly, that's all people really care about anyway. They are forcing, as long as they are controlling the narrative, they control what we supposed to be into. They tell us we should want to play 4K. They tell us we should want to have this and we should want to have that. And when they give it to us, it can't do nothing that they said it can do, but we ran out buying it because we thought we had to have 4K. But this is the first time that the TVs ain't making that shift like they thought. 4K dropping every day, and people still ain't buying them. Why? Because they satisfied with 1080p. Okay, you said who got a 4K TV? I have a 4K TV upstairs, 42-inch. It's actually upscales to 4K from 2K. Is there a noticeable difference? Yes. But do I care enough to bring my PlayStation 4 upstairs all the time? No. So it stay downstairs on my 1080p, and I'm fine with that. And I think that's what people at a certain point, people don't care anymore. It's like, yeah, I saw it with 480 and I saw it with 720. I see it with 4K, but you know what? I like 1080. It's still a good picture, and I don't care. So, and technology ain't caught up with it either. There ain't nobody really streaming in 4K. You don't have no cable really in 4K. Netflix, you got to pay more money for 4K. I don't care enough to do it, so I'm good where I'm at.
Well, and the thing is that why should we believe them anyway? I mean, like I just got through saying, we were promised native 1080p 60 frames per second solid in the 7th generation.
Right.
We are here in the 8th generation, going on generation 9, and we still can't get that on current gen consoles. So why should we believe that we'll still be able to get 1080p 60 frames per second even with the PS4K? I mean, we were promised this before. So many times we hear this console can do all this. We were promised 4K with the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. We were promised that firmware updates will allow us to be able to have 4 or at least stream 4K on those two consoles. Are we doing that yet?
Right.
So basically, it goes to the second part. So basically, it goes to the question that K-Bum asked over the weekend, and I guess we'll lead into it and let this be what we end on. He asked the question: are hardcore gamers ruining gaming? Because first of all, let him explain his question. Like, what provoked the thought, K-Bum?
All right. I'll explain um, where I got this mindset. So I was on the forums looking at information about the division and reading comments. Some that came out. I think it was about the end game of the division, and I was reading comments, reading what people were saying, and people were talking about how they were tired of the game, and people were talking about how they don't like the end game and a bunch of other stuff they were complaining about. One of the stats that was thrown out is that it takes about 20 to 40 hours to get to the end game. So that's to get your character to level 30 to complete the main missions to get yourself to the level 30, which will trigger the end game and the dailies and the challenge modes. And what I was hearing was what people were complaining because you know what I'm saying, it's nothing for them to do, and the game has only been out for I think less
3 weeks, 3-4 weeks, about a month.
And so I'm reading the comments, and me myself, I hit level 30, and last week I believe I hit
You're breaking up. What's going on?
level 30. You know, I try to can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, but you're breaking
Time
up.
planning. Okay, I'm trying to do a better job game. To the map, I was trying next level, like I said about last week. And you know, I've been playing through the story, and I've been taking my time. I've been trying to invest myself in the story and to play some of the side missions so I can understand what's going on. I've been trying to learn the people. I've been listening to the recordings that they have. They have phone recordings you can listen to that gives you more in-depth information about the story. There's little things you can pick up off the ground, items you can pick up that gives you more information about the story. There's videos and stuff like that. So I've been trying to, you know, become more applicable to the information of this world that I'm a part of. And so and that's why it's taken me a while to get to level 30. I wanted to play all the missions in order so I can see the progression story. But the thing is, people have hit level 30 since 3 days, two to three days since the game came out. And so people have been upset because they've been playing the game for weeks now, and they've already been at max level. And for me, I'm like, you know, you got to max level in 2 days. You know, they don't make. Are they making the game so you can get to max level in 2 days and then try to play the game now? And content, because the content has to match to how they expect people to play the game. And so my mindset was, you have all the people that are bored of the game, that's saying, I'm done, there's nothing left to do, they want to send the game back. And the same thing happened to Destiny. And my mind started to wonder do game developers make decisions on their games based on the hardcore guys? Because those are the guys that's finishing the game in 2 days. Those are the guys that sit down and just play until they don't go to sleep. They pop some Red Bulls and they finish the game in 2 days, and then they complain that there's not enough content. And then you have the more casual people who take their time, enjoy the story, you know, not trying to rush to the end of the game, but trying to enjoy the game. They get there weeks later, and you know they're like, wow. And now I'm still playing the end game, which for me there's still a lot to do. I don't have enough gear. I'm not high enough. You know, for me there's still 2-3 weeks left of game for me to play. And so I've been thinking about it, and I'm like, are these guys um, actually ruining video games? When I look at Madden, and I see that the way you win in Madden is that the people with the most money wins. Whoever has the best cards is pretty much going to win. There's some circumstance where there's skill involved, but it's about getting the best cars. In order to get the best car, you have to spend money. And so hardcore guy is going to spend $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 on certain game modes. Talking about MUT in general, on certain game modes, who sit and watch YouTube videos all day to get how to do nano blitz and stuff like that. That are making these video game companies money, but they're making it not fun for the casuals. And so I don't consider myself a full casual, but I'm definitely not as hardcore as someone who's gonna complete the game in 2 days. So with all that I've been going back and forth is that are these hardcore gamers, are these guys who are you know, taking the game to the max and find all the glitches and everything like that, but are they ruining the quality of games?
Go ahead, D2. You you got the claps going, so go ahead and respond what you think.
Well, I agree with everything that he just said, and I'll expand on it a little bit further. Um, while back, Jedi, he did a video um, about it was something that Cliff Blazinski said about his upcoming game. Forgot the name of it. Uh, some weird name, but anyway, he's coming up with a new shooter, and there's no campaign mode at all. It's just straight up multiplayer. And his explanation as to why is that he basically blamed us, basically the hardcore gamers like K-Bomb was just talking about, for the fact that there's no campaign or story mode in this game, because he says that we go through it in that weekend and then we go straight to multiplayer. So that's the reason why we're not putting it in there. So basically he's saying that rather than us going back to the drawing board and figuring out why we're burning through the campaign modes and story modes so fast and to make them more challenging and compelling, we're just not going to even put it in there. And it's just like he just said, people are maxing out within a couple of days or a week or so, and then they're bored because it's nothing to hold them there. And that's not the fault. That's the fault of the developer for not being creative enough. That's not the fault of the game itself, to where you need to alter the game to fit the people who basically dedicate their lives, every second of their lives, to gaming. And I think that to a certain measure, esports is destroying traditional gaming as we know it, because now everything is about numbers and figures and scores and things like that. That's the reason why I don't play Killer Instinct anymore, because it's so esports driven now, to the point where I'm like, I don't even care. It's not even about the ambiance of the game. It's about all these stats and stuff are coming up, post match stats and all this stuff. I'm like, I don't care about all that crap. Did I win? That's all, the only thing that matters to me. You know, did I do an ultra combo? Did I do a finishing move? That's the only thing that matters. You know, what's all this other stuff? You know, and esports has destroyed Madden, just like you just got through saying. You know, it's not about skill. It's not about people who actually have knowledge about football and implementing that into a game. It's about people who can buy the most upgrades and attributes. So, I mean, that's not, I mean, what's the difference between that and some owner just going out and buying all the best talent and making a super team? You know, it's just, I think that I would say that when I say hardcore gamers, I would say obsessed gamers.
Right.
These are people who are obsessed with if the game is one frame less than 60, it's unplayable. These are the people who, if it's not 1080p, it's unplayable. These are the people who I mean, they if it doesn't have the absolute best graphical quality and best visuals, they won't even look at it. They don't even consider it a game at all. They can care less about the story. They can care less about the music. They can care less about the gameplay. They can care less about the game mechanics, if there's anything innovative in terms of how you play the game. They just want it to look like photorealistic. And I look at it like this. I'm used to paying $14 to go watch a movie, not 60.
Right, right. I would say this, man. I was listening to K-Bomb and how he was asking the question. I was listening to you. I would say, yes. The hardcore are the how did you frame it? D2K, obsessed gamers.
obsessed gamers.
Obsessed gamers are ruining the game, and I would say it like this: it's the same problem with the food industry. Like the reason the quality of food is not as good as it used to be back in the day. You'd be like, man, McDonald's used to taste good back in the day, or remember how the burger looked like a burger back in the day.
Hmm.
Well,
Word.
the demand is so high now, they don't have time to perfect anymore. They just trying to meet demand. And then gaming,
Right.
and I told you, I was like, if a person beats a game, a 40-hour game in 2 days, the question I ask is, what type of life do you have?
Yeah.
Person got on to you last week about the fact that you have a real life to live, and sometimes it don't allow you to play games. And and I was back and forth with him. Well, I ain't had no problem with it. It was just the fact that if you're gonna hold D2K to that, you gotta hold all of us to that because I ain't played this week. So does that mean my opinion is not worth being listened to? Because I didn't touch a controller this week, let alone play the game. So life, causes you like I don't. That's why I'm like I'm kind of with Jedi Knight. I don't know if I'm a hardcore gamer. I say I'm a core gamer. Meaning I play more than I'm not casual. I mean, but I might be, and actually I think I am. I play when time allows me to play, and I get into what I play. But like K-Bum was saying, I want to soak up the experience. I don't want. It's like a kid with a piece of candy. They don't. They try not to eat it up. They try to make it last as long as they can make it last, little lick by little lick. And that's
Hmm.
kind of how I am with a game. I don't want to beat Zelda fast. I don't want to beat Uncharted fast. I don't want to look up 3 days later and I'm done with the game. One of the worst experiences and the best experiences at the same time to me was what's the name of that game? Gears of War 3. I got off into that game in a way, and I just played it, and I was done with it in like 5 days. And I was like, I hated myself. I was like, man, I just spent $60 for 5 days, and it never saw the tray of that 360 ever again. And I was like, I'll never play a game. I mean, I just when I got home from work, I put it in. Anytime I got it, I was just on it. I mean, and I enjoyed it, but I played it so much that it was over before I even. And now you could say that's the developers' fault. They didn't put more. It wasn't a long game, but at the same time, if you beat 40-hour games, if you already beat The Witcher in 3 4 days, what type of life do you have? What are you doing? I doubt you got a girlfriend. You can't be married because if you would, you'll be dead trying to spend that much time playing a video game. Oh, and then, you know what I'm talking about, K-Punk. Your wife ain't
Yeah.
gonna sit downstairs and play no 40-hour game nonstop. What you won't be you how you what type of life do you have? So yeah, I agree. I think it is the hardcore or obsessed gamers, and a lot of us are not hardcore. We really obsessed. We you see how folks on YouTube all day, every day to learn that there's a lot of obsession going on. No temperance, no balance in their life. Like I go out, I go do other things. I get off into other things that occupy my space outside of gaming. Gaming ain't my only release. It ain't my only hobby. I got music. I got the Lord. I got so many different things that I gravitate to that don't allow me to just overindulge in gaming. But it also allows my experience with gaming to be one of such that I enjoy the game. When I beat it, I feel like I'd accomplished something, not that I just went through a snack and I'm looking for another course. So I agree with you, man. I think it is the like D2K said, the obsession or the obsessed gamer that is ruining gaming because the developers are taking advantage of their addiction.
But I mean, in some sense, you can kind of put a little bit of this blame on Nintendo because Nintendo has not pushed the envelope and gave us enough games that show these developers how it should be done. Because Nintendo knows how to make a game that sustains you for a long period of time, and after you've if I can use a quote a term from the 80s, flip the game, you feel like you've accomplished something. You don't feel like you wasted your time. You don't feel like this was over too fast. You feel like that was awesome. And you know what? I think I want to do it again. I don't know how many times I've beaten a Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. That game is over 25, almost, well, no, 20 some years old. And
Right.
I played that game over and over and over and over again, and I'm gonna play it again at some time because it's just it fulfills you. Or like a
Right.
game like the Legend of the Mystical Ninja 64, slept on game. That's one of the best games I ever played in my entire life because it's not something that you can beat in a few hours or a couple of days. It takes a long time to beat that game if you want to do it right and absorb the ambiance of the game. And then when you beat it, you're like, that was awesome. And,
Yeah.
and you're not getting enough games from Nintendo that do that. All you're getting are the games that are basically these little Debbie snack cake type games that give you a sugar rush and then it's over with. And people say, well, that's all they want. That's all we'll give them.
Well, I mean, I agree, but when you have games like, I go back to Witcher 3. From my understanding, Witcher 3 is like a 50, 60-hour game. All right.
It's more than that. When you go to
I'm
the
talking about you can actually complete the storyline in about 50 hours.
yeah, the actual storyline without the side missions, you can
Yeah,
complete
the
it in
whole
about
one, the entire game probably be like
it's
about
over
8.
100. No, it's
Uh,
over 100. Yeah, it's
okay.
over 100. The
But the
entire
main
game.
storyline, which most are not going to complete the game, but they had played a lot of the side missions and the main storyline, you can beat it. And these folks, man, still beating the game in a week. Like I was listening to a podcast, I bought Witcher, and then the next podcast, I beat The Witcher. I'm like, what? Like, yeah, man, I just, I binge, man, I binge. Or Destiny, I listened to this one podcast. Dude played Destiny nonstop until he got sick of it because he had accomplished everything in the game. It's like, is that the developer fault or is that your fault? Like, that should be some type of temperance. Like with Ocarina of Time, I was what? I was in high school. I was 17. you know, we was different than like these dudes. We went outside. Like I said, we had so many other things that drew our attention away that whereas even it made us because we knew we wasn't gonna have another game too, D2K. We knew we wasn't our mom wasn't gonna go, our pops wasn't gonna go out and spend because them games cost like $80.
You
Oh,
better make it last.
yeah,
Yeah, I just bought you that game. You better make that game last for a while. Whereas,
well, I was working full time at that time, so I could buy it myself. But
uh,
that's here to there.
well,
Yeah.
Ocarina of Time, I bought it myself, but them games was costing $90. Like I remember buying WCW versus NWO. There was like 80 some bucks for them N64 cartridges, and especially when the N64 wasn't selling as good as Nintendo thought. Them games went up, so I had to pick and choose what I bought. It was a real decision going on. That's because that was half my check. A game really was a sacrifice. It was either gas. I was working for Sony's. It was either gas in the car. I had just graduated. I graduated at 18. I started working at a place, one of my boy's favorite spot at that time was called El Chico's. You know what I'm talking about, K-Bun. I was
Yeah.
working there. This before I met you at college, but I was working there, bussing tables and stuff. And I went over to Sony's and got hired on there. And I went and bought Ocarina of Time, and I bought WCW versus NWO. Them games was $80 plus.
That's
And I was like, dude, yeah, I can't be working 2 weeks and spending half my checks on this cartridge. So I got gas and insurance to pay. So we had a different time then, man. These kids, I don't know, they're just a different breed. But
I feel bad for him.
yeah, it's like, dude, what are you doing outside of this? Get outside, see. Anyway, so yeah, I agree with you, K-Pop. I think it is partial hardcore or obsessed gamers, and the fact that, like D2K said, developers not doing enough with the game to make it longer. So
I do have one comment on top of that, man.
okay,
One comment, and because I was hearing all the comments, I was hearing things about the other games, and people were saying, well, it took me 40 hours, 30 hours to complete this game, and I'm not satisfied. And But my question is, how much is enough? That's when it comes to game and like for me, if I got 30 hours out of a game, like
That's enough.
I got enough from that. I got my $60 worth.
I agree.
And and with these gamers, and this is the obsessiveness that we're talking about, that 60 hours in a game, 40 hours is not enough to
But
quench that obsession.
It all depends on, you have to have the right mindset to going into it. I mean, you have to understand what the game is and what you just bought. Level, you just mentioned that you had a unfulfilling experience with Gears of War 3. Um, have you ever played horde mode before on Gears of War 3?
yeah,
You didn't care for that.
I care for that.
So you didn't play. You just played a little bit, but that wasn't enough to keep you interested in Gears of War 4 or 3.
Well, let me be honest. I played horror, but at that time I didn't have live, so I didn't purchase live. So
Ah, okay. Well, no,
right.
you still can do horde offline. I do it all the time.
Yeah, it wasn't fun offline. So,
But
I ain't
see,
gonna lie to you.
like for me, that was the whole kick of buying Gears of War 3. It wasn't so much the story, because I know the story was going to be tight, but the horror mode, because I got Gears of War 2 is what, when they introduced horror mode, and
Right.
that's where I got interested in Gears of War. I'm like, this horror mode is tight. And then uh, Halo, they added something like horror mode called Firefight in Halo ODST, and it became, and then they had it in Halo Reach as well. I'm like, okay, even after I do go through the campaign and stuff like that, I can go back playing Firefight instead of, in addition to the online multiplayer, and that sustain me even more. So I mean, if you don't see stuff like this accompanying with the game, if the developers are not forthcoming about stuff like this, then that should make you say, I think I might have to pass on this.
Right. Well, I would say part of my problem with like I said, I enjoyed the game. I just wanted more. I was still. I didn't realize my plate was done when I got to the end. I was like, I'm done. Oh man, I was enjoying it that much that when I got to the end, I was like, I wanted more. But it was what you said about Nintendo. You got to understand too. And I got to be fair. I was a Nintendo conditioned gamer, and games like Ocarina of Time and the Mario 64s, games that took a little bit more time to beat and had a lot of content to explore, conditioned my gaming experience. So when I started playing the Gears of War and stuff like that, and I would get engulfed in it because of the storyline. When it ended, I was like, I want more. It's like a good movie that ends too early.
Mm.
Like, I enjoyed it, but I was expecting at least another 30, 40 minutes. You could have spent a little bit more time, saying fleshing out that character or the backdrop of that. We could have learned more about, sometimes movies do that where they end, you be like, I ain't ready to leave the theater yet. You know what I'm saying? So
But
that's
some of
kind of
these,
what it was
but
with that game.
but some of these games have basically become amusement park rides. I mean, you get all this hype about these games, how great they're going to be, how great it's going to look, how revolutionary it's going to be. Equate that to standing in line at Great America or Six Flags over Texas or any other Six Flags amusement park, waiting for a major ride, and you're standing in line for 2 hours for 33 seconds of fun.
Right.
You
That's a
know,
good analogy right there.
that's pretty much what it's come down to. We spend all this time waiting, and then when we get the game and it's over, we're like, that's it.
Yeah, the wait is longer than the actual experience. So,
Yeah.
and that's kind of what it was, like the hype of it, the build up of it. Then when you get the game, it's over before you even got a chance to really get into it. Like you was, as soon as you get into it, you at the end, it's done. So, but so that's kind of what it was with Gears of War 3. But I enjoyed the game. I just wanted more. But like what K-Bum was saying, and what you said too, I kind of take both points. There is a lot of games out here that give you that substance, like the Fallout 4s, the Witcher 3s, the
Xenoblade.
Xenoblade, and many other games Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft, all of them getting you games that are games that should keep you entertained for at least a month and a half, 2 months. And these cats beating these games in under a week, sometimes in under days. It's like, whose fault is that? Is that my fault or is that your fault? You know what I'm saying? Is it the developer fault or is it your fault? Like with Tomb Raider. I took my time with Rise of the Tomb Raider. I beat it in about 3 weeks. I feel like I got my money's worth. But I know some people who beat it in 2 days. See what I'm saying? Like, I hope you got your money's worth because that's $60 you just spent for a 2-day thrill.
And that's why I'm kind of debating on whether or not I'm going to pick up Quantum Break for the Xbox One because, I mean, it looks amazing and it's definitely something that's up my alley personally. But I don't want to spend $60 for something that's going to be over in a week.
Well, they said it's supposed to be like a 15-hour game. You should get
it. You see, that's like what we were just got through saying. You know,
right,
I mean,
right.
I mean, I'm not. I mean, that's too much money for a rental. I mean, I'm a game flight or something. I can't spend that kind of money on something that's going to be done in a week. I can't.
I'm gonna have to research all what you can do with it because I've been waiting on that game so long. But I'm with you, man. It's like it's just getting so harder. It's getting harder and harder to justify the finance. When I was single, it wasn't a problem. I go buy it, I lose $60, I lose $100, whatever. It's my money. I ain't got nobody depending on me. But when I got babies who need milk and diapers, and I got a son who need tennis shoes and cleats for football and track, and got a wife who ain't playing, it gets serious. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sorry, but it's like K-Bum and you were saying, man. I look at the game like, man, we need to change, or maybe K-Bum we got older and it's more real things going on in our world that maybe we have changed and we just on a different have a different perspective than we did back in the day. We might have been these very same type of gamers. So I don't know.
Yeah, maybe my question we can ready to end, but maybe my question is wrong. Maybe it's not that gamers. Maybe this is the old man saying. You know how old men say, "Oh, these young whippersnappers are ruining everything."
Yeah.
Maybe that's where we're getting to. The point that that gaming is actually changing. The way that games are being played, the way games are being made are changing, and we're the ones that's still stuck. That's saying, "Hey, the game is supposed to be like this."
Right.
And what's happening is the game is no longer going to be like that because the atmosphere and the way these games, even the way the games are being played, is totally different. And so we're still stuck with the AKA old man mindset where this is how video games are played and things are changing around us and everything is different. And so I mean that could be it. I'm not gonna stand here and say that no gaming should be the way I think gaming should be. I'm not that bold to say that, but I really think I'm really thinking that may be the case at this point.
It might be. Go ahead, D2.
I would definitely subscribe to that. I'll admit that a lot of it has to do with us getting older. You know, we used to. I mean, when we were younger, we used to listen to older people talk about how things were better.
Right.
And we would just say, what are they talking about? You know, and now we the older, we're sitting around talking about, man, back in the day when I was, this is beautiful. What is that, velvet? I mean, we're the old guys, cranky old guys sitting in the park throwing popcorn to the pigeons and stuff. So I mean, maybe that's what it is. I mean, if that's the case, then I'm guilty.
Yeah, I think I am because I'm like this for hip hop, but you know what? I believe we right when it comes to hip hop. So, but that'll be a whole
Lord Jesus. Oh, Lord Jesus.
That's a whole podcast, and
we might be the old fogies and old, grumps. We might be Cranky Kong over here with our cane fussing. But it is gaming. But sometimes the fussing is needed because. Anyway, we'll talk about that Thursday. I was like, I'm not going to open this back up. But anyway, man, this has been the Live and Level Gamers podcast. Let's sign out. I'm going to start with my boy, K-Bomb 20.
Hey, what's up, man? Hey, Y'all can check me out. I'm gonna try to do some more streaming on my videos. So come check me out on my Twitter. It's KBomb20. Come check me out. I'm gonna try to do a little bit more streaming on when I'm playing my games, my Madden and stuff like that. I'm gonna turn the volume off so you won't catch me yelling at the screen. So so come check me out, man. Y'all be good, man. And until next time.
All right. D2K.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing. I've been doing a lot of or I should say, blogs on fulleffectgaming.com, and also doing a lot of me doing some tutorials. I'm an artist, so I do a lot of artwork and stuff. And I'll be doing tutorials on my YouTube page. And anybody wants to, chime in and play any games with me, I'm Darth Boo on Xbox One. So that's my gamer tag on Xbox
I'm
One.
about to go find you. Dark Boo, huh?
Darth Boo, like Darth Vader, and
Oh, Dark Boo, like
like
Majin Buu.
like Majin Buu. Yes.
Okay, so Darth Blue Boo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Two words, not the same word. So it's
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, man. To all the listeners, it's been a pleasure. We actually got a full podcast out of us this time. You know, I misspoke like I often do when I say we're gonna be short. We end up going over what I said. But we'll be back this Thursday. Hopefully, John Shaw will be able to jump on, and even possibly Black Sunday next Sunday, and the whole crew might be there. As y'all notice, I have been posting a lot of videos lately. I'll probably have some up this week. Personally, but until then, till next time, thanks for tuning in. Check us out at fulleffect.com, fulleffectgaming.com, and we'll see you till the next time. Deuces.